Cooking, Adventures of the Carnegie Cooks. I'm Brittany.
I'm Megan.
And we are librarians at the Del Rapids Carnegie Public Library. And today we are going to be making an old family recipe of mine. It's the best ever gingerbread bread pudding. It's the most delectable dessert. We have it usually every Christmas and it's amazing. So we wanted to share it with you. So let's get started.
So the first thing, well, obviously we've already done the first step, which is to take a loaf of Texas toast and cut it up into 1-inch squares. So now what we're going to do with that, now that we have it on sheet pans, nicely spread out, is we're going to put it in an oven that's at 350 degrees, and we're going to toast it for about 10 minutes.
Stirring halfway through.
So I'm going to take that and put that in the oven, and Brittany will show you what you're to do in the meantime.
So the next step, we have some ingredients, and once all this is combined, we pour it over the toasted bread, and it kind of soaks in for about 10-15 minutes and just gets really yummy and creamy and delicious. So we're gonna make that mix right now. So we have 2.5 cups of milk that we will add. We have 5 eggs. We have 1/4 of a cup of molasses. This is gonna be so sweet and so decadent. If you like sugar and have a sweet tooth, then this is for you, because I could sit and eat the whole pan because it's so good. That smells so good. Fun fact, in case you didn't know, we just learned that molasses comes from sugar cane. Or beets.
Sugar beets.
That's what I said.
Sugar beets.
Sugar beets.
Sugar,
yeah.
not
They
sugar
thought
cane.
it came from trees.
Sugar cane.
Sugar cane
Or sugar beets. Yeah.
I thought it came from a tree, but I think I'm thinking of like when you make syrup.
Maple syrup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not that.
Your thoughts, Cassie?
I still can't eat any of this. I don't know why I'm here.
This is our judgmental judge, Cassie. She's a little bitter. After our molasses, we're gonna add 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then in here we have a spice mixture. There is ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. So all those really good, delicious, earthy spices.
So are they just supposed to guess, or are you gonna include like how much?
Yes. No. We will be posting the recipe and the directions to this in the comments of this video, so then you can make it at home yourself. And so they will get it, Cassie.
I was just covering all the bases.
So then, once this is all together, we're gonna whisk it to really incorporate all of the ingredients together to beat the eggs. It smells so good. All of the spices and that molasses, you can really smell the molasses. It smells so sweet. Very good. Okay, once this is all mixed together, we just have to wait for our bread to finish kind of toasting in the oven. We'll transfer it to a big bowl, and then we will pour our mixture over it, and we will let it sit and soak together for about 10 to 15 minutes. So once we're ready, we'll come back. Okay, so we have let our bread bake in the oven for about 10 minutes, and we let it cool for probably 3 or 4 minutes. So it's still kind of soft, but it's got a nice little crunch to the outside of it. So now we're gonna take our wonderful creamy mixture with all those spices and that molasses. We'll give it one more little stir. It smells so good. It smells so good.
Smells like Christmas.
Oh, I'm so excited. We call this Christmas in a pan. We're just gonna pour this right over the top, and Megan is going to mix it all together. And we're gonna let it all get coated with this mixture. And then we're gonna let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes so it can really absorb all of that liquid and get kind of mushy and delicious. And then after letting it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, we are going to pour it into a pre-sprayed baking dish. And then we're gonna bake it in the oven for about 45 to 60 minutes. And then while it's baking, towards the end, we have a delicious vanilla sauce that you pour over the top of it once you take it out of the oven and are ready to serve it. So it's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. So this looks like it's incorporating really nicely. That bread is starting to get kind of mushy from the sauce, and the warmth of the bread is really helping to soak it all up and kind of make it all warm. So we're gonna let this sit, like I said, for about 10-15 minutes, really let it get soft and mushy. We'll put it in our baking pan. We will bake it for 45 to 60 minutes in our 350-degree oven, and we will come back and show you how to make the vanilla sauce that we pour on the top. So we'll check back soon. Thoughts, Cassie?
It smells really good.
But you still can't eat it.
Why am I here?
Okay, we're back. So we put our bread pudding in our pre-sprayed baking dish and we let it bake for 45 minutes. And so it is now done. We stuck a knife in the middle and it came out and it wasn't like pulling at anything, wasn't gooey, so it's perfect. So now we're going to make our vanilla sauce that we pour over the top, and then we're gonna eat it, and I'm very excited. So to make our sauce, we're gonna turn our saucepan on to a medium-high heat, and in there, we're going to add 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter. We'll pour that in there. And then we're gonna add 1.5 cups of sugar. And then 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. We're just gonna pour all of that in there. As much as we can, it's kind of thick. Megan, can you take that, please? And then we're just gonna stir all of this together until it gets thick and creamy. This sauce is going to be so delicious. This is what really makes it decadent and just adds so much flavor when you add it to the bread pudding. While I'm doing this, Megan is going to, we have 1 egg yolk, just the yolk. Megan is going to whisk that in the bowl.
It looks so odd just in there by itself.
By itself. Lonely.
And we're gonna wait for this. This is starting to get thick. All of the ingredients are starting to incorporate. Our butter was partially melted, but not all of the way. So we're gonna wait for the rest of that butter to melt. We're gonna let the sugar melt. Let it get nice and warm. And then when this is ready, we are going to very slowly, whoa. We're gonna very slowly add this to our egg. We wanna do it slowly and only do a little bit at a time because we don't want the egg to basically start to scramble. We don't wanna cook the egg.
Well, you do want to cook the egg.
Well, you do, but not
You
like
don't want it to
scramble
be a scrambled cooked
Yeah,
egg.
you don't want it to like be one that you eat for breakfast. Like we don't want that. That would not be good. So this is almost ready. We want it to get melted and we want it to kind of become creamy and delicious. Okay,
It smells really good.
It smells so good. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Cassie, I'm really sorry that we keep picking things that you can't eat. Next time we'll pick something that's
Dairy-free, egg-free,
full of
Gluten-free.
nothing that's good.
Yeah.
So we'll make like a vegetable hummus dip. Okay. So
I'm only slightly
this
better.
is ready. So very slowly, we're going to pour this in here, just a little bit at a time, because we really don't want the egg to scramble.
I think the egg acts as kind of a binding agent
As you can see, it's a little bit separated in the pan, but once it mixes with the egg, it all comes together in sort of a creamy, custardy sauce.
I'm so glad that you just explained that, Megan, because I was just going to ask if anybody knew why we needed that egg in there.
Yes, based on my knowledge from the Great British Baking Show, I can definitively say eggs do stuff.
Okay. And then while she is still whisking, we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're just gonna add that right in there. We wanna get that all stirred together.
It is quite a bit thicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like a creamy custard now. Well, not really a custard, but it's creamier.
Okay. So now we are going to take this and we are just going to pour it right over the top of our bread pudding. And it smells so good. It smells so good. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can with the whisk because this is the really like good decadent part. And we're just gonna kind of let that soak in for just a couple minutes. And then once we kind of let it soak in for a little bit, we are going to dish some up and we are going to sample it and let you know how it tastes. So we will let it sit and we will be back soon. Okay, so here is our finished product. We have poured our warm vanilla sauce over our bread pudding. So again, we made gingerbread bread pudding. Christmas in a pan is what it's called in my house. This is an old family recipe that's been in my family for a really long time. So we will be sharing the recipe and the directions on how to make it in the comments of this video. So if that's something that you want to try at home, please do. I would love to hear your feedback. But if you don't have time to make bread pudding or you're just looking for an outing, something to do, Papa's Pub and Eatery here in Del Rapids has great food. And bread pudding is always on their dessert menu. So I would highly recommend giving them a try, going down, have a good meal.
Support Del Rapids.
Support Del Rapids, especially during, you know, the COVID crisis.
Yeah.
They also do carry out. So if you don't feel comfortable going and sitting and eating there, I know that they are doing everything they can to keep everyone safe and healthy. But you can call and order carry out, and that includes their desserts. So bread pudding is always an option. So yes, if you don't have time to make this at home or you're just not feeling up to it, head over to Papa's Pub and Eatery in Del Rapids, call in for carry out, venture down there and eat and give it a try. You won't regret it. So Megan and I are going to dive in because this smells amazing, it looks amazing, and I am very ready to give this a try. So we're just gonna give a nice little cut. Oh my gosh, look at all of that yummy sauce. I'm gonna try to make sure that I get you some extra on there, Megan. Look at that, that's so good.
I appreciate that.
We should get a spoon so we can really dive into this. This looks so good. Okay, there's that. Oh, a ladle-like spoon. Genius!
Well, really, I don't want to miss out.
I mean, I was really just thinking of a regular spoon, but you are really going the extra mile here.
I've been smelling the sauce. So
perfect. Okay, we'll cut up one more little piece because I can't let Megan be the only one that's trying this because that would just be not okay. And don't worry, everyone else that's here is also going to get to try.
Except me.
Except poor Cassie.
who is the judge of all of us eating terribly unhealthy food, but not actually like getting to judge the food.
Yeah, so sorry, Cassie. I'll get my revenge later.
Suck.
We have a theory that to get back at us, if any of you have read the book or seen the movie The Help, and you remember the pie scene.
We will not be eating anything that Cassie bakes in the future.
I won't make a pie. That's too much effort. It'll be subtle.
It's just a bag of poop on our doorstep.
Okay, look at that. It is delicious and glorious, and it's covered in that delicious vanilla sauce. So it's still warm, so I'm gonna give it a whirl. I don't know about you.
Oh, I thought I'd just look at it for a while. I've been smelling it for 2 hours, but.
Oh, that's good. It is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's
kind of
so
got a
decadent.
Christmassy French toast sort of quality to the bread.
Yeah, because
It
of all the
doesn't just
spices
taste like
that are
bread.
in there. It doesn't taste just like bread. It tastes kind of like French toast because of the spices that are in there. So you get that. You get a nice little crunch because we baked some of that bread, but then it's still soft. So most of it is still soft, but you get that nice little crunch. And then you add this delicious vanilla sauce to the top and let that soak in for just a little bit, and it just takes it to a whole nother level. It's so good.
So do you guys eat this for breakfast, or what do you?
Literally for anything.
It's just like all you eat all
It's
day
just like
is
there.
bread pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me.
It's a dessert. It's breakfast. It's lunch. You can. It's a
Multi-purpose
snack.
meal.
It is. You know. You can
Yeah,
use
it's got that
eggs.
nice gingery flavor,
Yeah. It's so
but it's
good.
not too strong. Sometimes I don't really like gingerbread because it's so gingery, but this is not in any way overwhelming. It's very mild.
It's very mild. Yeah. It's so good. So again, gingerbread bread pudding. It was so easy to make. It was a lot of fun to make. It tastes amazing. So we'll be sharing the recipe with you all. Otherwise, check out Papa's Pub and Eatery and try their bread pudding, which I have. It's really, really good. So thank you so much for joining us for our second episode of Crepe Cooking Adventures with the Carnegie Cooks. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Megan.
And thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed.
Bye.